What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdlocker podcast. This week you are joined by me, Brandon,
Patrick,
and Jimmy.
All right, guys, we got a lot of news this week. I'm going to start with this one because Patrick said something before we started recording, and I'm super hyped on this. But it looks like Peter Dinklage is in early talks to be in the Avengers. He's probably going to play China.
China.
Who's a mutant, I think.
Who's a mutant crotch monster.
Yes, exactly. No, but it's seriously, in serious news, he is in talks to be in Avengers, and Patrick has an idea of who he might be playing.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, Dinklage is going to be the Watcher, which would be fucking rad as shit.
I think that would be great.
I mean, he's already got the big bulbous head. I mean, he's got the unassuming look. Could you imagine he could be in the background of all these different, like, pieces and parts of the Marvel Universe and
nobody ever noticed?
Yeah, nobody ever noticed.
I know a long time ago people were talking about him playing MODOK, which I thought would be cool too. I definitely feel like if we're getting ready for Infinity War, for a new part,
Watcher
kind of makes sense to be Watcher.
Yeah, and that's brilliant because I was sitting there just saying, "Oh, he's going to be in the Avengers. Oh, we can speculate who he's going to be." And Patrick, you nailed it right off the bat. I was like, "Huh, never thought of that."
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that ever. That's great.
Really? Because I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm such a Game of Thrones fan, and like he's Tyrion playing Tyrion. Tyrion's very knowledgeable and like wise, but he's wisecracking. But at the same time, he has this ominous feel to him if he just stands there. And that's always the feeling that you got when you saw the Watcher in a comic. You're like, oh, shit, it's about to go down.
Kind of like at the first Civil War when he just is like hanging outside. I'm like, oh, man, that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I remember the Watcher from, God, man. I mean, there was a couple of different episodes of different comics. I think my first one was like Thor, where he fights the Celestials. I have that. It's like Thor 501 or something like that, or 500. And I'm like, who is this guy? Why is he here? What is his purpose? And like all this other stuff like that. So I would be pretty stoked. I mean, outside of that, I mean, MODOK seems like the only other choice. Puck. I mean, if you want to really downgrade, him, I mean, you can say
that's just embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
You guys didn't happen to read Original Sin, did you? Because that one is about the murder of the Watcher. And
I did. Okay.
Who becomes the new Watcher. And I mean, not that I think they're going to go that route, but it was a really good story, and it kind of gives you a lot of backstory into the Watcher and all that, which is really cool. But,
I did watch it. I mean, I did read that, and I don't want to spoil it for people because I know who's the new Watcher and all other good shit like that. But I did, and that did give a little bit of background to who he was and this whole story. The whole Nova arc went into that too.
Yeah. Also, if you're reading Unworthy Thor right now, the newest Watcher makes an appearance in the last issue, which was really cool.
I'll have to pick that up.
And I think that's the first time we've really seen him since it all happened. And Thor's like, who the fuck are you?
Hey, aren't you supposed to... Okay, yeah.
Wait a second, yeah. Peter Dinklage can act the shit out of anything, so I mean, whoever he gets cast as, I'm sure it's going to be good. And once again, I'm in the opinion that whoever Marvel puts for, a role, I'm like, well, they're going to be good because they haven't fucked up so far. Speaking of Marvel, before we go on to the next subject, the Entertainment Weekly had some photos of the Defenders.
Oh,
Obviously, can't show you on the podcast, but it looks freaking sweet.
It does. Sigourney Weaver's playing the main villain in this one, and I was reading up on it, and there's no tie to her character in the Marvel Universe.
Really?
Yeah. So plays, I think it's Alexandria or something like that. No tie to any villain, not a code name, not a anagram or whatever. It's nothing. No
100% new character.
100% new character.
Interesting.
Which is kind of interesting because that's off the Marvel TV / Netflix path a little bit. They've given us different versions of characters. They've given us different looks for characters, but they've never given us a completely like new character. There's always like, oh, that's so and so who becomes this, or you know what I'm saying?
Only thing I could think of was Morph from the '90s X-Men.
Oh
Oh,
man.
jeez, you had to bring up that.
Of course I did. Come on, man.
For the record, I loved Morph as a kid. Like
Awesome.
when I found out he wasn't like a legit comic book character, I was really disappointed.
Really? I wasn't. In other Marvel news, we've got Felicia Rashad. Looks like she's joining the Marvel Universe as well. So we've got a bunch of new stars coming in, and most likely Felicia looks like she'll be Mrs. Huxtable and the Black Panther. I mean, well, maybe not so much Mrs. Huxtable, but she will always be Miss Huxtable to me. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing on Amazon? I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a pilot for a TV show.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
She was in it, and I'm like, I haven't seen her in forever, and she was awesome because she was like his Hollywood agent, but he wasn't really an actor. He was a super spy, and so he would get gigs booked to go do these action movies, but he wasn't really there to film. That's why they were always crappy. He was really there to save the world with super spy stuff. And she's his agent, but she's really his handler. Oh, it was hilarious.
Get out of here.
He was so good. Yeah.
Well, Miss Huxtable will be taking up the reins of the Black Panther, so we don't know exactly what role she'll be playing, but it's on the production on the production cast of Black Panther. I've got a buddy of mine that's trying to get on with their production team. Hopefully, one of these days he can actually give me some information.
Like, yo, give it to me. We won't say your name.
Right?
We just need all the exclusives from you.
Yeah, just like, Avatar.
Exactly. Oh, God. I think I saw Disney World announced they're doing like an Avatar park, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
You understand, like, I don't like that movie to begin with because I think it's stupid, but you understand that movie's basically like about bestiality, right?
It's Fern Gully. It's not bestiality.
Dude, he is a human that becomes an animal creature and then falls in love with and has sex with that animal creature. In a robot animal body, he is a human person.
But not at the end.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's still, I don't know. It was fucking weird, man. And that didn't dawn on me until like years later that I was like, oh, what?
Speaking of which, his wonderful Cirque du Soleil show based on Avatar.
Oh, God, I don't give
yeah.
Finally open.
If that was being performed on my front lawn, I would turn on the sprinklers. Like, I don't give a shit.
As you can tell, Brandon is a huge fan of James Cameron.
I like James Cameron. I don't like Avatar. Like, fuck. Movies. And, like, the thing is the sequel's going to come out, like, 20 years later, and people are still going to lose their minds. Like, who cares?
Exactly. So let's move on to DC news. Pretty interesting shot. I heard a story I saw on Green Lantern Corps. Have you guys heard about this?
Just recently.
Yeah. So apparently, the Green Lantern Corps is in talks, and it's slated as being a lethal weapon in space, which I don't know. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it, just as a whole, So,
well,
do we know for sure which characters?
It's going to be Hal and John. So
if you're gonna say lethal weapon, it's got to be
Hal and John.
Hal and John. Personally, when it comes to Green Lanterns, I like Hal. I'm not really I like Guy Gardner to be Guy Gardner, but I don't like him as like a starring role in anything.
But see, with Lethal Weapon, that's what I picture: Guy Gardner and Stewart.
Really?
Well, those
actually,
yeah, I can see that.
I like Hal better, but I think if that's what they're talking about, Lethal Weapon, it kind of makes me think of the crazy dude who can't control himself.
Yeah,
That's a good point. I hope we don't. I would like Hal to be established as the main Green Lantern, just because I think he's the best. John Stewart, I didn't like because my first kind of introduction to him was through Justice League Unlimited. Like I knew who he was in the comics,
hmm
but um, I wasn't super seasoned at that point. Like I
hmm
wasn't picking him up every week. I'd known who he was, but I remember on Unlimited he was so boring. I was like, this is stupid. And then like reading the comics, especially like Green Lantern Rebirth and all that,
hmm
I think it really showed how good he can be, like how like detailed he is. That was my always thing is I was like, cool, it's a Green Lantern, and like that entire show, all he makes is like bubbles. And
Right.
it's like, dude,
And womp womp womp.
you can
Yeah.
make anything.
Okay, so my big thing with John Stewart and it is John Stewart and Hal Jordan, is that you know John Stewart was uh, he was like just so rigid, you know what I'm saying, and
Yeah,
that and the fact that he was a Marine. So that was, I mean, that's what got me was
yeah.
automatically was like John Stewart's a Marine. If you gave a Marine a a ring, a Green Lantern ring, can you imagine how much shit we would fuck up? We would
Oh, dude,
just
no one would fuck with that guy. He would be
exactly
unstoppable. Like,
exactly. It's willpower, right? So what other fighting force on the planet has that much willpower besides the Marine Corps? I mean,
yeah,
granted,
no, shit would change if
yeah.
actual Marine got a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So I can see where they're probably gonna go with that Hal Jordan from like New 52's type personality.
yeah.
You know, like, hey, look at me, I'm Green Lantern. Watch this, I got this. Don't worry, you
Well,
know.
like the
Yeah,
cocky.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he even had that in Rebirth like, when Jeff Johns started. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if back in the day he was as
No, he was not. He was not. That was
fire from the hip type attitude, but
when I was reading Green Lantern in the '80s. It wasn't. He was kind of more militaristic, like rigid and stuff like that. But
and
Jeff,
he had the gray on the sides and all
yeah.
that. Like, yeah.
Well, Jeff Johns is actually going to be one of the executive producers on the movie. So
That makes
there's
me so happy.
right.
That's the only
It
thing
makes
that I'm really
Right.
kind of giving DC another chance on is that they kind of pulled back Zack Snyder and they're like, okay, Jeff Johns, you're the czar of DC
yeah.
movies.
Thank
Dude,
Fix
God.
it.
I mean, Jesus, he's done so good on the TV shows that he's helped on. Like,
Right.
and Green Lantern, at this point, Hal Jordan is his baby. So
Right.
I can't see them being like, I can't see him with the Mark Miller attitude where he's like, yeah, no, just give me money for stuff and do whatever the hell you want. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. The one of the cool things though is that so we've got the Jeff Johns and Green Lantern thing, and you talk about how he's becoming the new czar of the DC or movie universe. You know, because Dwayne Rock Johnson is such an awesome character as a person. He's supposed to be Black Adam, right? In the next
yeah,
Oh, I forgot
upcoming
about that. Yeah.
yeah
a lot of people have.
on his Twitter feed, not his Twitter feed, but on his Instagram, or I think it was Instagram, Facebook feed. They show him at the actual DC headquarters talking about uh, Green Lantern. Now, the interesting piece in it is in the comments when he puts the post in. He's like talking about the baddest, villain slash anti-hero, which kind of leads me to believe that Black Adam's always been like this badass, and just pure evil. As far as I was concerned, when I read Shazam, and like it was just he was evil. He was the evil incarnate, right? He was just absolute evil, as opposed to Billy Batson's, squeaky clean character. But now
Yeah,
with that slash anti-hero, I'm thinking they're going to change the character and probably move him
ruin everything.
to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
Well,
mean,
I understand. Like, Black Adam is a villain, but
mhm.
I can understand how he can be painted as an anti-hero because he's just trying to lead his country. It's kind of like Sinestro. Like
Mhm.
Sinestro is a villain,
Right.
but when you really break down the way he does things and why he's doing it, like it's a perspective thing.
Mhm.
Like, he's still an evil fuck, so is Black Adam, but when you see of why they're doing things and how they do things, and
Right.
it kind of changes it a little bit. But
Yeah.
And that's what makes a good villain is the villain never sees himself as the villain.
yeah, exactly. Like those two people definitely don't. And if they do, they're just like, well, you're wrong because I'm doing what I need to do to make my, world or country great.
Right. And that's exactly it. So I don't
Cool.
know. It would be cool to see, and like you said, I hope they don't fuck it up. So
I was reading about Ben Affleck's doing touring for his whatever night. I don't know the name of the movie he's doing, but some people were asking about Batman, and his comments kind of make me a little nervous because he's
I think he was stoked on this to begin with, and now he's kind of like, eh.
Well, I think because he's like, I don't know if he's feeling the pressure, but he said that whatever movie he's doing now, he took a year and a half and nobody asked him any questions because nobody knows about what he was doing. But now that it's Batman, everybody asks him all the time, and he's like, "It'll be ready when it's ready, and I'll do it when I'm ready." And
basically, fuck off.
And it's like, oh man, dude, that's you knew what you were signing up for.
He wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for the fanboys and all the people just driving him crazy.
I know, and it's kind of a little disappointing because it's like, dude, you did of all the things wrong with Batman versus Superman, I did not feel like it was Ben Affleck.
No.
So it's
okay, I don't feel like it was Ben Affleck. I feel like it was the character, but I feel like he did a good job.
Batman. Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to do, what he was told to do, what was written for him, and I thought
if he wouldn't have killed people, it would have been great.
Yeah, but that was his character that was written.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, but I did read. I'm sorry, going back to the Jeff Johns, that Jeff Johns and him are writing the script, and I'm like, okay, cool.
He writes some really good movies.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. And it was funny because he mentioned that they're going to have to change the bat suit because as an actor in the bat suit, you can just take it off and leave. But as a director in the bat suit, he needs to get in and out of it quickly so he can talk to other people around set. I'm like,
boy, that would be hilarious.
That's interesting.
He's like going up to catering in the Batman costume, like
exactly. Where's my Skittles?
Hey. Hey, real back before we change subjects with DC. The rumor for Shazam is it's going to be played by Alan Ritchson, who you may know from what is that, Rocky Mountain or Blue Mountain State, which was the show.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. He was actually he was Aquaman 2 on Smallville. But
okay.
Seeing him now, like back then, I was like, I mean, he was kind of a string bean, but especially after that show, he's kind of bulked up. I've seen a few episodes of that show, and that the character he plays, Thad, is fairly outrageous. But I think he looks like the clean cut part to be Shazam.
Yeah. I can give it to you. Yeah, because I mean. That'll be interesting to see. But Dwayne's a big motherfucker.
Now, see, that's the thing. Realistically, the only person who should play opposite is John Cena. But then,
exactly.
Things are just going to be a fucking mess after that.
I love that dude. I don't even watch wrestling. I love both those guys.
Oh, I watch wrestling every week, and I fucking love John Cena so much. He is the best. All right, next up, I know this is one you were stoked on, Jimmy, but Woody Harrelson being in the Han Solo film.
Hell yeah. I love Woody Harrelson. I know people are like, who or what? Or what, that dude from White Man Can't Jump or that dude from Cheers? It's like this dude shows up in so many movies, and he always makes it better. Whether the movie's good or not, doesn't matter, but he always makes it better. I love seeing him. I can't wait to see his character in a Star Wars movie.
I just want to see like an extreme version of Han Solo, like teaching young Han Solo to be a criminal.
Right.
Oh, it's going to be great.
And it was cool because they asked, I don't know, I guess he's doing his directorial debut. I don't know what the movie is. It's some weird, I mean, Woody Harrelson as a dude is weird anyway, but he's doing some weird thing where
weird dude I want to hang out with.
Yeah. Right. It's a live movie, and that's his debut. And it's like, that's all right, dude, weird. But they asked him about it, and he said he's stoked to work with the directing team. He's really excited because he feels like that's what makes a movie good. Is if you have bad director, then immediately you're starting with a bad product. But the way I got it was he's in Star Wars, and he's
Right?
just stoked to be in Star Wars. And I'm like, you can't beat that. I love that you're starting there. It reminds me of when, and say what you will about the prequels, but when Samuel L. Jackson was cast as a Jedi, that dude was so excited. He didn't
Right.
care what he was
Hell
doing.
yeah.
He just loved that he was in Star Wars.
Say what you will about the prequels, but Sam Jackson is a fucking great Mace Windu.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
And then something even, I mean, as far as Woody Harrelson goes, I mean, No Country for Old Men or Cheers. Like, he's a phenomenal actor. Like, he does funny, he does serious. He's going to be the bad guy in the next Planet of the Apes movie. Like, come on.
Oh, so awesome in
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in a great cop movie called Rampart. I bet you nobody saw it, but he was just evil. He was like a racist white cop, but it was so subtle and so angry. It was so good. Highly recommend
He's
it.
phenomenal. Oh, he's so phenomenal. But yeah, I think this will be great. We don't have a young Han Solo yet, do we?
Yeah.
We
Daniel
do. I
Glover.
can't remember his name. It's not.
No, that's. I was like, no, that's Lando.
That's Lando.
Yeah.
It says Alden Eng. Wow, yeah, not pronouncing that name.
I guarantee we lost another great American role to those
No.
Brits.
No, this one says he's an American actor with
Oh, thank
a
God.
hell European name. Like,
Yeah, I thought for sure that he was.
he's German descent. That's for damn sure. That's like that last name is like 3 E's.
Good thing he made it into the country before you know who took over.
Oh boy, right? He'll ship every. Well, no, actually, he'll probably allow Germans to stay here.
Exactly. Exactly.
He tweeted something. And he's like, "What is this, Nazi Germany?" And I'm thinking, like, not yet. Yeah, fucking crazy orange maniac. But anyways,
So that I mean, we got Star Wars news, and did anybody see the Chips trailer?
I did.
Yes.
Now, as a kid of the '80s, and Jim, we talked about this before we started recording and stuff like that. You guys don't understand. Chips was a serious show.
Very. I mean, they tackled serious subject. I mean, they had some humor, but it wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't itchy. It was serious.
Right, right. And the funny thing is, from growing up in LA, Chips was filmed on a patch of freeway called the 118 that's out here, that was being built at the time when the series was being filmed. So they had this clean stretch of long straight freeway to film all those chase scenes and stuff like that. So just a little Chips knowledge was like they used to be filmed on the 118, which wasn't too far from where I live now. But now with this new trailer and this new take on it, it's funny. It looks really funny. So I'm not mad at this, to tell you the truth. I think it's actually pretty cool.
I mean, it's along the same lines as like 21 Jump Street and Starsky and Hutch with these remakes, right? I mean,
I was going to say, I hope they can pull off the 21 Jump Street vibe because I thought that was awesome. That was hilarious and it was good. I'm just worried it's more of the Starsky and Hutch and that people watch those shows now and they're like, oh, that's so cheesy. It's like, but it wasn't cheesy when it came out. You can't do that. You can't retrofit it and make it good. But the actors, I love the actors, so I'm excited for that. Michael Pena and what's your name?
Dax Shepard.
Yeah, Mr. Kristen Bell.
Mr. Kristen Bell. Yeah.
Mr. Kristen Bell. Dude, I would totally be Mr. Kristen Bell. Are you kidding me? Like, hell yeah, changing my last name. She's attached to this movie, by the way.
She's in the preview.
Plays his wife, I think, in the movie.
Got it. She's like nailed it. They got this.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you he's like, you can get the part if you bring your wife.
He's like, all right, fine.
Done.
Yeah. Works for me.
And I saw just a brief shot. I didn't see him really in the trailer, but Vincent D'Onofrio's in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's another one who's just so goddamn good at everything.
Right.
Dude, when he's the Kingpin, it's like,
Ah,
oh my God, that he is the Kingpin.
yeah, 100%. I never thought he would be. I mean, I thought it'd be good, but I was like, oh my God.
I was almost like I loved him as Kingpin because he took it in a whole another direction to the point where you understood a little bit more about why the Kingpin was in
Is
that
the
way.
Kingpin, yeah.
Is the Kingpin. But the one thing I was just a little bit off topic with the whole Kingpin storyline. I was when I first heard about Daredevil, I was hoping Idris Elba would be the Kingpin, just because would have been such a different take on Kingpin, and I loved him in Wire, so he played a great Kingpin bad guy in Wire. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But he was just like he's a big guy, massive guy, and that was one of my dream castings as far as it goes for a Kingpin. But
You're talking about Luther?
yes, I'm talking about Idris Elba. The same.
No, he needs to just be Luther and do Luther and not do anything else but Luther. I love him. I'm glad he does other things. In all honesty, I'm glad he does all
But
these.
you just want like forever Luther.
Damn it! Do more Luther.
That's hilarious.
But you just mean Luther? Yes.
I just picture him in like a press conference and Jim being like, "Do more Luther."
Exactly.
That's about right.
No.
Don't waste your time on more Prometheus movies. Do Luther.
Can you just do more Luther?
Yeah, exactly.
What's your next project, Luther?
Luther 2?
What is he in next? He's in Dark Tower next. That one's coming.
Yeah. And maybe James Bond.
Maybe James.
Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, I changed that. If he's not going to be Luther, he's got to be James Bond. That's acceptable.
That's acceptable.
Just like, hey, no, fuck it. Just be James Bond now.
Do you guys watch Sherlock at all? The masterpiece.
Yes. I haven't seen the new season yet. I know it just started. But where can I stream this? It's not on Hulu. It's not fucking anywhere.
It's PBS. It's on PBS.
I thought it was BBC.
It's BBC America is the first run, which is normally before the PBS Masterpiece Theater gets it, but PBS it's on Tuesdays at 9.
I don't have cable.
So PBS is fucking public access. It's regular TV.
Oh my God, millennials, you kill me.
Yeah, I don't have TV.
No, I don't. I have a TV. I don't have cable.
I know.
It's over the broadcast. It's like the easiest thing you could get is PBS.
Yeah, PBS is like it's like the
plug it into the wall and
get
what. Listen, guys. I'll figure it out.
No,
okay, you go on pbs.org.
See, I'm at bbcamerica.com.
Well, you need a subscription to do that.
Well, I just use my dad's login for all the cable stuff.
PBS, dude.
Oh my God, you're killing me.
Public Broadcasting System.
Public's in the word, dude.
Public is in the word itself.
I can watch Luther on here. That's cool.
Yeah, more Luther.
Fuck it. We keep talking about Luther. We're just gonna do Luther again.
Yeah. But anyway, Sherlock is with Cumberbatch. It's so funny watching that show now, knowing how big of a star he is, and then knowing that he came back. This was prior to, or no, it was after. I think it was after Doctor Strange. He came back, and this is supposed to be the final season of Sherlock. This is it for him.
This is it?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, you know how like the British do it. The BBC does like 4 seasons and that's it.
They start out with 10 episodes, then 6 episodes, then 2 episodes.
Well, it's like Game of Thrones. The next 2 seasons are gonna be like 6 and 8 episodes. I'm like, the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Start chipping me out bullshit.
I make fun of the British for taking our roles, but at least they go back and do things that they don't blow up and then be like, well, I'm above that. I'm not going back to that. Right, no, the British do cool things even after they're big.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Edis. He did Luther, even though he was making headway with all the roles here in the United States.
Oh, yeah, he would have made way more money doing movies, but he did do Luther.
Yeah, but he went back to BBC and did Luther, and then, and kept it going. But with Cumberbatch and, what's the other guy's name? I forgot his name.
He was in The Hobbit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played John. He plays Watson.
Martin.
Yeah, there you go, Martin. He was in Avengers, Civil War, not so.
Yeah.
Captain America.
No, Captain America.
You mean Martin Freeman?
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Watson's played by Martin Lawrence. That's who that is.
Martin Lawrence.
It's very good.
Really?
You don't even know it's him. He's so good.
He was funny. That's why they can't do Bad Boys 3. Come on.
That's exactly it. No, Martin Freeman, yeah. So these two guys, I mean, literally, they're making huge movies, and they do an about face and come right back to, their roots. Not so much their roots, but going back to doing something awesome like Sherlock, which is by far one of the best shows on TV right now.
Oh man, I remember. I think I just happened to watch what was on Netflix one time, and someone's like, "Oh, you should check it out. You should check it out." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, we'll see." And then I'm watching, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
Sherlock's one of the reasons why Sherlock, the original Sherlock Holmes, and I think there's a Nerdlocker YouTube episode of me going off about Sherlock the movie and Sherlock Holmes just in general. But it's the reason why I'm an investigator today is because of that book. Is because of the collection from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So
I forgot that. That was a long time ago. Yeah, we were talking about the Robert
Downey Jr. Yeah,
we were going on. I was like, I never knew these stories, Patrick.
Yeah,
there's like a secret group, not a secret, but a smaller group of people that can't wait to see Doctor Strange and Iron Man on the same screen together.
Are you serious?
In hopes that there's a Sherlock reference because they're both.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
That would be awesome, though.
Oh hell yeah!
I think that would be nerds everywhere. You would know who those guys are too in the movie theater because they'd be like.
Like I hope if they do like allude, it's the most subtle line possible. So it's like you really have to know what the hell is going on.
Exactly.
I will tell you though, if at any point in time they do that bearded bros thing that Bendis wrote into the Iron Man book, I'll light the movie theater on fire. Like, nope. Fuck you. This is a stupid joke, and it was a stupid panel in the comic book. Goodbye. Fucking dumb. Oh, that made me. I'm like, this isn't funny. It's dumb.
It was dumb. But it was funny. That's funny. To get that kind of reaction out of you, I think people do that just on purpose.
You're just like, I'm watching Infinity War Part 2, and he's like, bearded bro, high five, and you just hear me go, nope!
Brandon storms out the theater.
Unbelievable. Well, speaking of things I might storm out of the theater about,
oh boy,
it looks like we might have an idea for the next X-Men movie.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Now
that one instantly. Go ahead.
I just okay. I have to say, I think Apocalypse cast-wise is maybe the best it's gotten. True. And I like that it ends with like, hey, look, here we are. We have a team. Let's do this. But like, I just want them to start over. Like,
yeah, please, for the love of God.
So bad. I mean, Sophie Turner as Jean Grey. That was phenomenal. She was amazing. I loved her as Jean Grey.
Might be an attempt to do that because the rumor is that with Supernova, I don't know why that name, but they're tackling the Dark Phoenix.
Right.
Yeah, but they did that in 2, or they did that in 3. Like, just you reset the universe to move everything.
That was
back
the
to
weakest kind of Dark Phoenix that ever existed.
Oh no, it sucked. It was an awful movie. Like it was all around bad. But we've already done this. Like, I don't know. I really want your theory of Deadpool bringing everything to like modern day to just do it. And my argument is like, you guys have fucked around with this timeline so much already. Who gives a shit? Just move everybody into Deadpool and say, look, this is what it is now. Shut up and who cares? Like, they continue to see these movies, so obviously no one gives a shit anyways.
Well, I mean, let's just hope it's, Bryan Singer's just out of it completely.
We can hope.
It seems like Simon Kinberg is doing a bunch of the question and answers and press release. I don't know if that has to do with Bryan Singer's, I mean, I don't want to get into dark territory, but his underage, whatever, trysts that he was accused of or did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's why he didn't do promos for whatever Age of Apocalypse thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you didn't see too much of him out on the red carpets there.
Yeah, the press kits and stuff, like the pressers and stuff. Hey man,
Yeah.
if it can just turn around and reset it, I'm fine. I'm good.
That's what, and like it's. We talked about this. I think it was just Jimmy and I last podcast, but how like I want Michael Fassbender to always be Magneto, and I want James McAvoy to always be Professor Xavier. Like I think they hit the nail on the head with that casting. Even Sophie Turner, like I said, as Jean Grey, I think is just spot on, great. But I just feel like this. I mean, you have to think about, okay, you read comic books, and how many times in the history of, hell, even, for the, like, 13 solid years that I've been picking up weekly, how many times they've rebooted and restarted and de-aged and re-aged and brought shit back. Like, that's fine, that's comic books, that's the nature of the beast, but, like, this is the first franchise that has been, like, reboot, like, in the middle of their shit.
Right.
And that's just crazy to me, because it's like Batman. Okay, Michael Keaton's Batman. Now someone else is Batman. Now we're going to start over. And now we do 3 movies. Now we're going to start over. And this one, they're like, gotta hold on to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, to Hugh Jackman's benefit, it's...
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's great.
I mean, he took Wolverine from a 5'3" tiny Canadian guy to like a... Yeah, exactly. To like a 6'2" monster person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and that's one of the good things about having Hugh Jackman in it, and that was a good Bryan Singer choice. I mean, that's about the only one. I think.
I mean, you know the story of how Hugh Jackman got cast, right?
No.
This is where we can all go back and thank who's the dude that did John Woo, who directed Mission Impossible 2. This is the only positive thing that came out of Mission Impossible 2. It ran over in production so that Doug Ray Scott could not make the casting for X-Men. He was supposed to be Wolverine. And because he couldn't make it, they had to last minute pull in an Australian actor that nobody had heard of, Hugh Jackman.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow, I did not know that. So there's your a bit of movie trivia news for you guys who are listening to the podcast. Jimmy's full of it.
I am full of it. But to Brandon's point, if we had Doug Ray Scott, we might have had a reboot a long time ago.
Yeah,
that is true. Oh my God, can you imagine how horrible it would have been?
Oh, awful.
Actually, the one bit of trivia I know is, you know who was originally planned out to be Cyclops?
Nobody cares.
John Stamos.
Tour with the Beach Boys couldn't get away.
No, actually, it came down to either him or Rebecca Romijn, and they figured Rebecca Romijn would have done or did a better job as Mystique than he would have done as Cyclops, because they had just divorced, and I don't know which party was more against it, but one party was like, I will not be in this movie if the other person is. Oh yeah. So
easy choice for me too. I get to see Rebecca Romijn Stamos half naked or naked.
Yeah, I mean, like I'd say like 7/8 naked.
Yeah,
I still remember, even as a kid, like reading the comic books and stuff, and it's like Mystique, and I was like, where are her clothes?
It's pretty hot for a blue chick.
Well, it's like all these other memes, like, let's put on these costumes. She's like, nah, I'm good.
No, I'm good. I'm all right.
I'll just do this. That's the other thing too, is like you cast, Jennifer Lawrence as a young Mystique, and now she's popular, and it's like, dude, Mystique is not a hero at all, ever.
That's the thing that Jennifer Lawrence kind of pissed me off with that one, was the fact that, Mystique is not a hero.
Well, I mean, that's not her fault. She's just popular, so they, started moving in that direction. Yeah. They didn't want to paint her as a bad person.
But remember, though, in was it the Bishop storyline, Uncanny X-Men? Like, it had to be early 2000s, where they tried to make Mystique a hero for like
when she's hooking up with Iceman.
Yeah, when she was hooking up with Iceman and stuff like that, and it was like, nah, this is gonna end really, really bad, and everybody knew.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like anytime they, make Sabretooth a good guy on the team. It's like, well, this is gonna end in bloodshed and disaster eventually. Like, yeah, no,
Right.
Mystique is someone that's just never like. She's such a bitch that it's like you can't make her be a good person. Like even Magneto. I mean, Magneto's committed like genocide, and sometimes he's like, "Hey guys, I'm in the X-Men now," and they're like, "Okay."
Yeah. Exactly. Like, we know how this ends, right? It never ends well for any of us.
He's stoked to be back. He's gonna get mad. He'll say humans are awful, and he'll stab everyone with metal. Like, you know how this is gonna turn out, guys.
Exactly.
Stop listening to him.
So let's see, what else do we have? Is that
it? Jim had Carrie Fisher news.
Oh, Carrie Fisher news. That's right.
Well, kind of more speculation on the future of Star Wars. And I know this past week, the creative team for Lucasfilm, and when I mean say that, I mean the directors, producers, Kathleen Kennedy, writers, everybody in one room trying to brainstorm potential storylines, not only for Episode 8, which finished filming for Carrie Fisher, but Episode 9, because I mean they although this is a tragedy, they have a unique situation there that they can alter whatever storyline they had for 8 to make it work for 9, knowing full well Carrie Fisher can't be there to act in it. But one of the possibilities that came up was approaching the Fisher estate, which would, I imagine, be Billie Lourd, her daughter, and getting permission to use a CG version of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. And the sort of speculation is that, yes, that shouldn't be a problem because Carrie Fisher herself agreed to do that for Rogue One, and she was able to see that part of it. Kathleen Kennedy showed her part in the finished product of Rogue One before she passed away. So that, whether they do that or not, I don't know, but that's a route that could potentially be where they go.
Wow. Well, I mean, I hope they do because I mean, it's such a fucking bummer.
Oh, I'm still bummed out about it.
Yeah, like that. That was a tough one for me. Even with my son and my wife and everybody like that, they know, I'm a huge Star Trek fan, but I'm also I'm a Star Wars fan as well. And I was just moping around the house the whole time. So, and I was thinking like how, and my wife asked me, she's like, how are they going to finish the last movie? I'm like, I have no idea.
I'm not quite sure about this. Yeah,
It's sad because for the 8th movie, I mean, it's, if you think of it as a new trilogy, it's the middle of the story. So they're just setting things up to end it with a third part.
Right.
So I can't imagine they had major storylines with General Organa, as she is now, with like her meeting up with Luke and then having this
100%,
joy
like,
or whatever. I'm sure that was waiting for the third one. So
especially when you just killed Han Solo, like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
well,
not something you thought.
They did it really well in Star Trek Beyond, which I thought was a interesting way of dealing with Leonard Nimoy's death. And right before Star Trek Beyond finished filming, they had to go back and obviously reshoot some stuff because Leonard Nimoy died before the movie was wrapped up production. But the way they did it, it kind of pivoted the story completely and added some weight to it, And I think they could do the same thing. I don't know. They could do the same thing in like the opening of 8, that or not the opening, the ending of 8, and kind of get it to the point where you feel something heavy is going to come down. You know, if they can pull off reshoots the way they did with Rogue One, man, I'm a true believer now in that whole Lucas machine.
I can definitely see that. And it was funny because somebody asked me that, and I was just spitballing. But I was like, you know what? This might be the impetus to bring Luke back. General Organa is no longer leading the rebellion or resistance or whatever they want to call themselves now, and somebody has to come back. And instead of just being, Yoda on Dagobah, Luke now has to leave with his pupil and lead the rebellion.
Yeah, exactly. That would be dope though, because that would put him back in the same realm of the it would put him in the same realm as the normal Jedi Council was in the beginning.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Because the Jedi Council back then, it was just like, kind of in the mix, but not quite in the forefront. But when they were forced to lead, like during the Clone Wars, they were forced to lead. They stepped up and they led. So maybe this might be a way to bring it full circle.
And that's an interesting point, because that's one of the things that Senator Palpatine used to recruit Sith was, look at the Jedi. They are so power hungry. They're trying to take everything over. The Sith, we're good. We don't do that.
Well, that is pretty interesting. So I guess we'll just see what happens here. I do have to say, with her passing away, that's when you start finding out all the facts she didn't know and all that stuff. But did you guys know she was a script doctor?
Really?
I did not know that. She helped fix The Wedding Singer. She worked on Lethal Weapon 3. She worked on Hook. She would come in and just kind of look at dialogue that didn't work and like how to make things flow, which is something I had no idea about. So I thought that
you know why she stopped doing it? It's great why she stopped.
Why she stopped?
Stop doing it because the producers would be like, okay, well, why don't you send us your notes and then maybe we'll hire you to do that. And she's like, screw you. If I'm giving you my notes, you're paying me.
Yeah.
Stopped. I'm like, I love that lady.
I love her.
And then her urn was a Prozac pill, which was just the fucking best joke you could go out on. That's so awesome. But anyways, I mean, obviously, hope everything works out with the Star Wars movies, because that was totally unexpected. But I think that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys for listening. We want to say thank you to Maximum Comics, just for being the best goddamn store in Vegas.
10 years. 10 years.
Yeah, right?
10
That's
years.
all for a comic shop.
You guys want a little piece of Maximum Comics trivia?
Sure.
Being that it's a 10-year anniversary,
okay.
You know who the first employee of Maximum Comics was?
Can we take that back? Can we say no? We don't want Maximum Comics trivia.
It was me. And that's where we all met too, which is pretty freaking cool. So
yeah, that's true. That's
I remember that night. It was horrible.
Yeah, you wish you could go back.
Hey,
I was friends with Patrick, and he introduced me to Brandon. It was the worst.
And it was just downhill from there.
And don't trip, because I was there the first time that Maximum actually opened under Maximum. It used to be Dark Tower or Dark Tower Comics.
Oh, that's awesome.
I remember when it was that comic book store, and it was just such a hot mess of a comic book store.
And then Jay came in
and then I come in the next, I think I came in the next week to go get my pull, and the guy that was normally there wasn't there. And here's Jay with his hands folded, standing by the counter all nice and straight. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? And why is he at a comic book store? Is he lost? I thought he was lost. He didn't look like, because Jay, he was very
he didn't look like a comic book store guy.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, there was a joke in there. You said nice and straight, and that cracked me up.
Jay just shuddered for some reason. He was like, "What was that?"
What was that? It was so confusing to me, because he didn't look like the normal comic book guy. He wasn't the asshole that was there the week before, and all of a sudden it wasn't. It said Maximum Comics instead of Dark Tower or whatever the fuck it was called. Comic book store, and that was it. I mean, it changed everything. So congratulations to Jay and Maximum Comics for 10 years of business. You have taught us so much about what a comic book store should be.
Definitely.
What it could be.
Yes. And Jay is just one of the best human beings on the planet. He's a wonderful guy. He's one of the nicest people in the world. He's one of my best friends, and I'm really happy that that's not something you hear too often, of a comic book store lasting long at all. And he's got 3 locations now. I mean, he's awesome. Maximum's awesome.
4 locations, dude.
Oh yeah, 4 with the warehouse.
Yeah. 4.
Yep. All right, guys, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that fun stuff. You can find me at Brandon Zitch on any of those.
Yeah, go bug Brandon. Don't bug me. If you guys have any questions, comments, what you would like to hear on the show, make sure that you do chime in on our Facebook, on our social media feed, so we know what's going on.
Or hit us up at info@nerdlocker.com.
We really want some questions. So any questions you have, just start asking them. We want to start answering them on the show. And yeah.
That's it.
So that's going to do it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And until next time, you guys have a nerdy week.